So as you've been going through this process, did you run into any sort of unexpected issues? Like there were the obvious visual ones, like, hey, this really doesn't look like something made for a TV, things like that. But was there anything that you just didn't even realize was an issue initially?
In terms of developing big screen, one thing was I looking through the settings.
Mm.
That ended up being the bulk of the work was redoing.
Yeah,
I had
looking
to.
at the
I ended up
setting.
rewriting a lot of the settings modules,
Yeah,
especially
looking at
the.
what it originally looked like, I can see why.
Yeah, there was a different vision in terms of the way you, well, UI wise, how you lay it out.
Right, right,
But
right.
some of the settings were also kind of broken. The especially the display one.
Mm.
'Cause we have a framework now. Actually, I don't totally remember exactly how it did it,
Mm.
but yeah, I wasn't able to get it working at all. So I had to rewrite some of the settings modules to use like the way we would approach it on desktop, just use our standard frameworks for doing that. So
Mm.
yes, display specifically,
Mhm.
shortcuts handling. That was a bit hard to look through because there was a lot going on.
Mm.
And I realized they didn't have support for a back button really in the shell.
Right.
They relied on like all the UI elements had like a back button to kind of close out like dialogues and to close out of app windows and things like that.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, looking around, doing some research at other platforms, everyone kind of has back buttons on their TV remotes,
Right,
and
right.
they don't expect you to put back buttons in the UI. So
Mhm, mhm.
I kind of made a shift to doing that and then adding support for mapping a back button to that shortcut.
Mhm.
That was also a big task. But yeah, it was overall just kind of trying it on my TV, seeing what kind of works. If it doesn't work, going back in, doing more research and yeah, writing code for it, then going back. It's kind of an iterative process.
Mhm, mhm. You mentioned a couple of times like looking at other platforms. So like how much research did you do into these other platforms and what were you trying to take from them?
Yeah, so I think especially Google
Mm.
for their Android, is it Android TV or Google TV? I think it's Google TV now, but they have a whole web page on how you design TV apps. And
Mm.
I'm sure they've spent money doing some user research into that. Like what kind
Surely.
of, yeah, they've probably researched ways, and they also have some rationale on like their design pages on why you should design certain controls in that way.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of read those pages and um, took that into account when I worked on, especially like the control framework we have now for settings.
Mm. Mhm.
That's based on kind of somewhat based on those principles. I also took some stuff from our like designers mockups,
Mm. Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah, the improved settings menu is it yeah, it's very clearly improved. It's very clear that yeah, it looks really good. Like that's just I don't know how to say any
that's
better,
good.
but like the new settings look really good and like clearly you can you can very much still see that like desktop plasma inspiration. Like it looks like it is plasma. It looks like it fits into that sort of that ecosystem, but it's like adjusted to fit that sort of big screen environment, right? Like it's still supposed to look and feel like plasma. That's clearly what you're going for here, but in a way that makes a lot more sense like on a TV.
Yeah, we definitely kind of want, like I really wanted to make sure that it seemed still, plasma,
Mm,
KDE.
mm,
I
mm.
didn't want to completely go off in a different direction. So, um, yeah, but it's good good to hear that that
Mhm,
kind of worked out.
mhm, mhm,
Uh, yeah, hopefully we can kind of take that approach to some of our TV apps,
mhm,
which look, I think, a bit well, quite different.
mm,
But yeah, yeah, I think that's going in a good direction right now.
mhm. So, what do you want to do with the project?
Yeah, so originally I didn't intend on like I intended like I kind of wanted to go in and kind of get the project started, and that's why I kind of worked on it for like about a week or two,
Mm.
and then I went back to doing Plasma Mobile stuff. But especially after that, I posted that blog post, a lot of people have been expressing interest in our Matrix channel.
Okay.
Like, a lot of people have been trying it out for sure. I wasn't ready for that. We have KD. I didn't put this on my blog post, but we have KD neon images that
Ooh.
you can just install and you can just use in development. But um, so there's a lot of people trying it out, and yeah, I was kind of inspired to continue doing a bit of work for it.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, like I have too many things that I'm working on at the same time,
Sure, sure.
so I can't like solely dedicate all my focus on that. But I've been trying to also help review MRs that have been created against the project and making sure it kind of fits with the scope of
Hmm.
what it is right now. Um, I do want to make sure that the project or the repositories get packaged or they're part of the Plasma 6.5 release.
Sure.
So specifically, we have the
When is that
big
scheduled for at this
screen.
point?
I think it's October.
Okay.
Um, October, September, or September is probably the freeze.
Mm.
So I haven't even sent out the proper emails and stuff for getting this or getting the process started. But like
Okay.
it's gone through the original KD review, and like we have like a whole process for getting into Plasma.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
gone through that before. So
Okay.
I mean it was just dropped in Plasma 6, so hopefully it's not too crazy. I mean the shell and everything I think works. The only thing is the keyboard is not ready
Mm.
because Plasma keyboard is not a finished or not a release thing either.
Right.
Um, that might be able to be released as part of Plasma 6.5. Most of my work the past few weeks have been on the keyboard.
Mm.
Uh, I guess as kind of part of big screen, but also part of like desktop and mobile.
Mhm,
Do you
mhm,
eventually want to switch over to that?
mhm.
But yeah, I think beyond keyboard or input methods, controller support, making sure the TV remote support is all good.
Mhm.
Then there's some settings modules that are in development. We have a contributor working on adding Bluetooth settings.
Mhm.
And there's also been some other people trying to put big screen on different things that I originally intended.
Okay.
There was some in the Matrix channel that put it on like a handheld,
I
like a
was
device.
gonna say you don't know how many comments I saw. I was like, hey, I want to put this on my Steam Deck. Oh, what if I put it on my Steam Deck? It's like I guess you
Yeah,
could do that. Yes, not entirely what the original intention was, but I guess you could do that.
yeah. Like originally, like in my head, I thought Plasma Mobile would probably be a better fit for those platforms because like the devices themselves are like these battery powered
Mm.
devices you kind of move around with, and you expect to have like a lot of different features more similar to a phone than a TV.
Right, right.
But I do realize that like there's a big focus on keyboard navigation and simplicity.
Mhm.
And like the big screen UI looks a lot more similar to like Steam's
Mhm.
big picture mode, I feel. So I've done a few tweaks to try to make it work better on smaller devices.
Mm.
Um, I'm not super sure like I don't have one of these, so I'm not super sure exactly what people are doing on them or how they're using it and what kind of problems they have. So
Mhm.
I'm open to any feedback in that
Mhm.
regard. But like I think at least not making the experience worse for those
Right.
devices is could be definitely a goal.
Mhm.
You know, giving some if there's any tweaks that we can do to make the experience better,
Mm.
um, that's definitely something that's within the scope, I think, of big screen.
Mhm. Yeah, even if it's an unexpected use case for it, if it kind of aligns with it, there's kind of no reason. Like, if it seems to fit right and it's not getting in the way of it being big screen, like, I think it's cool, right? I think it's cool when people take software like this and experiment with it, and it does fit with that Steam big picture thing or big, yeah, big. Yeah, that's big picture. This is big screen. I think I don't know how many times in the video I mixed up the two. That
A big picture. Yeah, I wonder if that was an inspiration for the name. I don't know where big screen came from, like the name itself, but um, yeah.
honestly, it's probably just the fact that it's plasma on a big screen. It's probably just engineer naming.
Yeah, I mean, my friend made the joke that just like we should rename Plasma Mobile to Plasma Small Screen, and then we have desktop Plasma Mid Screen. Kind of unify our naming or our branding. But,
Yep, yep.
oh,
Yeah,
small
well,
screen.
I'll run that by some people. I'll send Nate an email, see how he feels about that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear.
This is a joke for anyone who doesn't realize it.